When you buy your brand new laptop, you usually expect fresh out of the box, brand new and fast performance. But usually this isn't the case. Because you see, manufacturers keep that performance hidden from users mostly because they want to keep the battery life standards and other safety features that most other users generally care about. But since you clicked on this video, you probably don't care about all that and just want to get the peak performance within your machine no matter what. But don't worry, if you worry about what settings we will tamper with, I'll tell you what each of them does, and it's up to you if you're willing to change these settings. Let's talk about startup apps. Now whenever you boot up your laptop, there are all those extra services trying to open at the same time your system is turning on. And honestly, it's kind of like trying to stuff a bunch of hot dogs in your mouth all at once. It's just a struggle, right? So what we're gonna do is press Ctrl-Shift-Escape. Head over to the Startup Apps tab and disable every app that we don't really need opening during the boot time. Doing this helps lighten the stress load on your machine and makes the startup much smoother. It also helps with less background processes in the meanwhile. Now let's talk about the Microsoft Game Bar. This is a built-in overlay that lets you record clips and screenshots while gaming, but if you don't use it, it just sits in the background eating up resources. So head into Settings, System, and scroll down to System Components. When you see Game Bar, click on the three dots and then go to Advanced Options. Now set the background component permissions to Never. That should disable Game Bar. This helps reduce unnecessary background processes and keeps your system focused on performance. Next up, we'll enable Hardware Accelerated GPU Scheduling. To do this, go to Settings and search for Graphics Settings, and you'll see the option for Hardware Accelerated GPU Scheduling. Turn it on. What this does is let your graphics card handle more of the scheduling work directly instead of relying on the CPU. The result? Lower latency and smoother performance, especially in games or heavy GPU tasks. Alright, now that we've handled that, let's move on to something a bit more serious. Disabling memory isolation and the system's VMP. To start, open the Start menu and type Core Isolation. From there, you'll want to turn off the only setting that says Memory Integrity. Now for the VMP, go back to the Start menu and search Windows Features on or off. Scroll all the way down and deselect Virtual Machine Platform. Just so you know, memory isolation uses virtualization to protect core Windows processes from malicious software by isolating them in memory. Now let me break down what memory isolation or core isolation actually means. Basically, Windows has this feature that uses something called virtualization to protect its most important processes. Think of it of like putting those two processes inside a locked room in your computer's memory, so that if malware tries to attack, it can't easily reach them. That sounds great for security, but here's the catch. Keeping those processes locked away takes up those extra system resources. It's like hiring bodyguards for every single task. Safer, yes, but it also slows things down a bit. So by turning off memory integrity, we're freeing up those resources, which can give your laptop a little more breathing room and better performance. Of course, if you're really concerned about maximum security, you might want to leave it on. But for most users who just want smooth performance, disabling it is a fair trade-off. Virtual Machine Platform or VMP provides core virtual machine services and hypervisor support for Windows. So if you're someone who uses emulators or virtual machines, I'd recommend keeping VMP on. Once that's done, we can move on to running this app called WinUtil by Chris Titus. It's basically a lightweight debloat service that you can pull straight from the web. And here's how. Open the Start menu and search for PowerShell, and run it as an administrator. When the command window pops up, type this command that I'm going to show on screen. Once typing and entering, that will pull up the WinUtil menu. From there, head over to the Tweaks tab and choose the tweaks that you want to apply. If you're not sure which ones to pick, it's best to stick with the recommended selection. For most users, the standard option is the safest choice. Now go ahead and run the tweaks. After applying all of these tweaks, it's best to restart your laptop for most of these changes to take effect. And that's pretty much it. These are the main tweaks you can do to squeeze out extra performance. Going beyond this isn't really advisable for your laptop. Anyways, if you found these tips helpful, please subscribe and drop a like. And I'll see you later.